Yeah, FM, your lifestyle, leisure, and business radio.
In the heart of Accra, nestled in the vibrant neighborhood of East Legon and New Beacon, a 360 multimedia firm has emerged. Introducing Zed Multimedia. With a steadfast focus on lifestyle, leisure, and business, we set out to bring high-value oriented programs that captivate the taste and desires of our audience. From the captivating airwaves of Zed 101.9 FM to the dynamic visuals of Zed TV and the innovative realms of Zed Digital and the incubation of advanced technological knowledge at Zed Tech, every facet of modern media is meticulously curated to engage and inspire. Also, let's not forget the New Finder newspaper, now under the Zed Multimedia umbrella, delivering insightful journalism with a business focus. Join us on the journey where innovation meets inspiration, where lifestyle meets leisure, and where business thrives. Change is here. Zed Multimedia, your lifestyle, leisure, and business platform.
This July, all roads lead to Zed Multimedia for the High Life Cruise of the century. It's the Zed High Life Cruise, July 4th, 2025 at 3 p.m. sharp. Venue, Zed Multimedia Forecourt, right there at American House, close to Brick Junction. Rates absolutely free. Just come with your dancing shoes. Featuring Samuel Owusu, sensational High Life legend. With Adoma bringing the soul. And headlined by the iconic High Life sensation Aquabwa. Remember, it's free and it's live. It's the Zed High Life Cruise. Feel the rhythm, live the culture.
Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Zed Wellness Link on Zed 101.9 FM. My name is Dr. Padiaite, your host. And today we are having a lovely conversation on men's mental health. Men across the globe continue to suffer in silence when it comes to mental health, especially managing of stress and anxiety. In many African societies, including Ghana, Societal expectations around men masculinity often discourage emotional expression, vulnerability, and help-seeking behaviors. This episode sheds light on the invisible battles men face daily, from job pressures, financial burdens, to unresolved trauma and emotional isolation. We will explore why men are less likely to speak up or seek therapy, and how this silence leads to complications, depression, substance abuse, and sometimes even suicide. We'll also discuss available support systems and practical and coping mechanisms, and how families, friends, and workplaces can help us create a safe space for men. Usually we don't talk about safe space when it comes to men. Every time it's women that we are talking safe space about. So today we are looking for safe spaces for men as well. Our guest is Dr. Isaac Newman Arthur, a clinical psychologist and mental health advocate. Dr. Arthur, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
So which one is the same name, Newman or Arthur?
Arthur.
So Newman is your middle name?
Yeah, Newman is my middle name.
Yeah, you are from my hometown, so that is why your name is like that. That's my mother's hometown. I was there over the weekend for a funeral. People need helicopters to go home nowadays. Was the road?
So the road is not at all.
The road is not good at all.
It's very, very bad.
But they are working on it, but it will take a long while.
Yes,
that stretch, which should take you like maybe 40, 50 minutes, 2 hours, easy.
Yes.
Just for that portion of the road. So going to Cape Coast now requires
a lot of energy.
Yes, an anointing
and a good reason.
And a good reason, yes, to go. But it's a lovely town. I grew up in Cape Coast. I went to school in Cape Coast. I have always very great fun memories.
Which school?
I was at Adisado for a year, and I was in University Primary School there as well. So it's a town that's I have much nostalgia when I go there. Dr. Arthur, mental health, is it different for men from women? Or do men, express their issues differently from the way women do?
Okay, so generally, let me deal with what mental health really is first, right? So that I can explain the differences, right? So we look at how a person thinks, feel, and behave, how you think, feel, and behave, and how that thinking or feelings or behavior is affecting your life. That is basically what mental health is. And if there's a thinking, feelings, and behavior, obviously there's a difference between how men think, how women feel or think and even behave, right? So men are likely to be more mechanical, more rigid, more analytical, more logical, more practical, but less emotional. Women are likely to be more emotional than men. Right. The reason is that our brains are different, though they look the same. But in terms of which part of the brain that is more active, realize that the right side of the brain of women are more active than the left side. The left side is for more analytical reasoning, for calculation, for those things. That is more dominant in men. Men have more active, left brain than the right brain. Emotional issues, you may find it more on the right brain than the left brain. So if you look at lateralization of cortical functions, you realize that more on the right is more emotional lateralization than the left side, right? So you may find those differences. Again, too, a person's thinking is influenced a lot by the environment and how the person is raised.
Okay.
And you realize that
upbringing and current environment.
Yes, and current environment. So the biological issues, the brain-related problem, even hormonal differences, right, creates a lot of problems. Hormones, estrogen more in women, less in men, testosterone. All those things have their way of making someone more masculine or more feminine, right? But the environmental issues, right from a person's upbringing, a person's thinking and feelings about things, and even behavior is actually, culturally determined. Unfortunately, when the child is growing up, the man is likely to be raised a man.
Yes, don't cry.
Manhood, a man.
Be hard.
Right, so things like being vulnerable, crying, complaining, sharing your experiences, expressing how you feel, is not something that is typical in terms of raising a boy child. Usually when You have a girl child who is crying. You're likely to carry that child, kiss her forehead, pat her back and say it's fine. A boy child really, so you're a boy, keep
Stop
quiet.
crying.
Right. So in terms of environmental things, even societal expectations of the man influences significantly a person's mental. So there are wide differences. And how, men, what they used to cope is totally different from what women used to cope with the environment. Men are likely to use more activities like work, like addictive behaviors. They are likely to use, even sex-related behaviors to cope. Women are likely to be more expressive. They may cry a bit, they may talk about it and all that. You may not find men doing that. So the differences actually cuts across. Even expectations of life, men really wake up and all what comes to their mind is where is the next money coming from so I can take care of my family, right? Women are different, so all those things create some differences, and that serves different risk factors, even for some mental health issues between women and men. Right? So we realize that the distribution of mental health related issues, you may have some mental health issues more prominent in men.
And different ones women. More prominent in women.
The mood issues, the anxiety-related issues, bipolar issues, look at the feeding-related problems, eating disorders and stuff. You may find it a bit more in women, right? But when it comes to psychotic problems and substance use-related problems, right, you may find it more
in men.
Yeah. But unfortunately, women are catching up with substance use. Now you have a lot more women drinking and smoking.
Is that their preferred poison? Alcohol and tobacco.
The what?
Is that their preferred poison? Alcohol and tobacco?
No. So now they do more of the alcohol and probably the less, what people think is not dangerous, like the shishas and the e-cigarettes and those things.
Okay.
Right, which also has its own health risk problems. So now you have a lot more women going into all those things.
Addictive behavior.
Yes, addictive behaviors. But you find that more in men. Suicidal behaviors are even more in terms of death by suicide. It's even more in men than women. Women are attempting more, but the men actually die more. Suicide is the second single most important cause of death amongst men under 45.
Wow.
Right? It's the single most important cause of death. Right? It's only that reason can end a person's life. Right? And men die 4 times from suicide more than women. So have a lot more.
Because they attempt more or because they are more successful?
So they are more successful. The women attempt more. So women attempt 3 times more, but men die 4 times more. Because men are likely to be more effective in terms of...
In the method that they choose.
And again, men don't seek help. So when a man says, I want to die, it's serious. It's something that they'll carry through. And they may not even seek help.
Why do men not seek help?
Well, I think that growth, right, growing up, men are meant to fix problems. Right, so almost every problem in the house, apart from maybe cooking and those things and house chores, you are likely to call a man. You see a snake, call the man. Most of the dangerous things, rugged things, heavy-duty things, right, fending for a family, asking for money. You realize that the man is the one who is expected to go out there and go and fight. Now the women are also trying to fight, right, which is okay, but typically, you may find that men are more driven to go and fight. So it's something that is cultural.
No, men are more expected to
go and fight. Right? So it's something that is somewhere with us that we have to fix the problems. Right? So in fixing the problems, you don't want to be seen as one of the problems. And so going to seek help is like you are the problem. A lot of men don't do that. Then again, some way, somehow, men are more inclined to be more solution driven,
yes,
than using emotion focused kind of thing to be able to solve problems, right? So they are likely to want to fix it themselves, right? They are likely to be seen that they are achieving success. They are likely to be seen that they are doing something with their lives. So if the feeling that you are the problem is something that, and that is why, for example, things like infertility, where 1/3 is from the women, 1/3 is from the men. You may find a lot more women going to the hospital than the men. Meanwhile, you may find that the problem is the man. Because for a man to go to the hospital, for him to be told that he cannot be able to impregnate a woman, it's a whole lot. Because you see, when we say someone's manhood, we are describing performance down there. When we talk about manhood, we are talking about a man. So everything is like performance. So somewhere, somehow, we want to fix problems. We want to be seen to be solution driven, problem solvers, instead of someone who also needs some kind of help. And if you grew up in an environment where men are not encouraged to be vulnerable and talk and express themselves, then it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse.
You mentioned something about infertility.
Yes.
So my patients who come and then we examine them and we see that the man has a problem.
Yes.
What is the man typically thinking?
Well, so for us on that level, on that side, a man is thinking about image, right? And not just the fact that children are not coming. I say, so in our local language, because onye bema.
Onye bema.
Hey,
So his manhood has been changed.
So it's really like an identity problem. It's not like ABA, what do you call it? It's more like, okay, I cannot impregnate a woman. And that is a health problem.
Yeah.
But it goes beyond that. Hey, where do you bema? Hey, where do who knew? It's a whole lot. So for the man to come to the hospital, because a lot of them who have wives who have some fertility problem, some way, somehow, the wives go and they say there's nothing wrong. But it takes a lot of effort
for the man to come to the hospital.
For the man to come and say that, check me also.
Yeah.
I'm sure those who come and say, check me, they've gone through several processes in their minds before they
but sometimes the men too, they come alone. That usually means they know that there's a problem. Then they come alone. That's Charlie.
But usually when they come alone, it means that they are hiding to come.
Yes.
Quietly.
They didn't say at home that I'm going to check myself.
Quietly.
Yeah. But I mean, for quite a lot of these people, there are actually solutions for them. So the men who have come with low sperm counts, poor sperm activity, there are solutions that can actually be given to them. There are some who have no sperm in their ejaculate at all. Now, if it's an obstructive cause, something can be done for them. So there are interventions that you can put in place. The problem with sperm in particular is that it takes 75 to 150 days. That is 3 to 6 months to get the kind of improvement that you may like. And so now it requires that they must take medication all the time. And men don't like taking medication all the time. It may also be a mental issue. The fact that it's admitting that you have a problem or recognizing. Then your wife is chasing you. Have you taken your medicine? Have you taken your medicine?
And now, and before you realize, every little thing, the argument goes there.
Goes in that direction. And then, and then they also have performance anxiety. The woman says that ovulation is today. Then
everything anxiety.
Kojobi doesn't want to get up. Then men suffer.
It's not easy at all.
Since you are talking about men's issues, and so now I tell the women that don't tell him that today is the day. Just be nice, and then go and do some nice thing for him and get him to perform like it's a normal day. But if the moment you tell him, when I talk to the men, they tell me that I'm worried about her reaction if she doesn't get pregnant this month. But the moment she doesn't get pregnant this month, the way she's going to be crying, she'll be moody.
So they would even avoid intimacy.
So they even avoid the sex because
so that the blame won't come.
The blame won't come that you didn't succeed in making me pregnant. So it is very very distressing on that side, and that hence why so many of them don't want to come to hospital. The other side of the coin is when the man knows he has a fertility problem, and yet his relatives are blasting the woman, and then he's quiet.
because if he gets out there, it's not easy at all. If he gets out there,
and the woman too is keeping his secrets, but he is not blocking the family members to say, "Massa, it's not her or it's me." So
because I'm sure sometimes when they talk, she's happy to cry that. The man has, and again, I think the woman may feel that even the socio-cultural issues around that. Some people may even use that against her. And so because let's keep quiet. It's a whole lot.
But you see, if men are not encouraged to talk about their problems and to get sometimes what we will call ready-made solutions, how then do men typically cope with mental health challenges, Ghanaians, in our communities? How do they cope?
Yes. So there are 3 types of coping that you may find. The first one is what we call the emotion-focused coping strategies. It means that we use emotional things to cope. right? So they may use music, they may use friends, they may use outings, hobbies, and those things, the things that helps, make them emotionally feel better. They're likely to use that. So you may find a man getting involved in social activities, getting involved in music, and something that makes them feel better, right? Those who, for some reason, have some relationship with God or something, they may use, some religious focused coping, and it generally deals with the emotions around it. It may not fix the problem, but it makes them feel better, right? So, and again, they may even use illicit kind of, intimate relationships, because, for example, when they maybe go to this person, they feel better, so they keep going. I have clients who can say, I don't even know why I keep going there. And if you check, it's just the fact that he's just coping, right? So emotion-focused kind of coping strategies, men are likely, but you may find a lot more women using emotion-focused, right, in terms of coping with situations. Then again, too, we might have the problem-focused, coping strategies. Men are likely to use that, right, where you identify the problem and you fix the problem. So sometimes, for example, a woman comes, maybe you have a wife, your wife comes, and the wife is talking plenty and wants you to just hear her out. In the mind of the man, the crack is saying, so whilst you are talking, so what's the way forward? I remember once, this thing is fun. Once I was there, I was asleep when my wife called me that, I told me, like I've gone to hit someone's car. So the first thing that came to my mind was that which car?
My car or your car?
No.
Oh, whose car?
Whose car? Whose car?
Yeah.
Do it. That is a man's mind, problem focused. Because in my mind, which car?
Is it a Corolla or a G-Wagon?
You're in trouble. So, it says we're taxing. No, taxing there. But when I was going there, my mind was that, okay, which car, what damage? Go to the mechanic, fix it, bring me the bill. That is typical of men. But when I went there, unfortunately, when you go, when I went, the first thing I asked is that, so where are we taking this car? No, instead of asking, how are you okay?
Did you get hurt? Did you?
And it's typical of men.
Oh, and you are in trouble for the next couple of weeks.
I'm telling you, you can't even go. So, typically, a man is likely to be more problem focused. They want to fix the problem. So if that man does not have a safe space where he can have peace enough to think and to fix the problem, they become dysfunctional. You see, so when a man gets home...
So he wants to fix the problem.
He wants to fix the problem.
He wants the time and the space to fix the problem.
The environment
he wants the right environment where
he
can work on the problem.
Yes.
But if he's not given that...
He becomes dysfunctional.
He find another way.
He becomes dysfunctional. So a lot of men are actually looking for a hiding place where they can think, fix the issues, and go back to the world to go and fight. So if you find there are some men who have the potential to do well, but they are not in a flourishing environment. Let me give you an example. It's biblical. See, when God decided to create everything else before He put man in there, so an environment to flourish before He even gave him an assignment. And after the assignment, He gave him his laws. After the laws, then the woman came in. Right? So every man is looking for a place they can flourish. So some men are not performing, not because they don't have the capacity to. Or they are not fixing the problem, not because they don't have the capacity to. But they don't have the environment in which they can flourish. So you may find a man, maybe first marriage didn't go well, his life is all over the place. Marry again, and marry a woman who gives him that space to flourish. And that same man begins to rise. That same man, who was seen as irresponsible and stuff, suddenly he's doing well. Unfortunately, if some men, and that is where sometimes extramarital relationships starts coming in, because sometimes for some men who for some reason are not able to deal with their problems, they are likely to still find safe spaces, a place where they can just go and hide and dream for the next day. Right? And that can be dysfunctional. Right? So problem-focused approach, where you identify the problems and you try to fix them, is one of them. Then the last one is...
Hold on to that thought. I want to tell you a story, and then we'll go for a quick break.
Yes.
So there's a gentleman who used to be a caretaker in my dad's house, and the guy was an alcoholic. And he'll promise he won't drink, and he'll come back, and he doesn't drink and just drink. He drinks to the extent that he lies in the gutter. So one day, in his sober moment, I asked him, why do you drink so much? He says he doesn't intend to drink that much. He intends to drink small. But if he drinks small and he comes home, his wife will naga. So his plan now is to drink until he can't hear the nagging before he comes home. So he comes home solidly drunk.
And just sleep.
So it doesn't matter what she says, he doesn't hear.
He doesn't hear, yes.
So this guy has already had his issues, but he became an extreme because of the environment that he goes to.
Yes.
When they come home and he has drunk small, if they accommodated the small drinking,
I've still been small.
maybe he wouldn't go so far. Ladies and gentlemen, we are really having a good time discussing mental health issues, but I have some great news for you. The Zed High Life Cruise. Get ready for the biggest experience this year. Zed Multimedia proudly presents the Zed High Life Cruise, happening live on Friday the 4th of July at 3 p.m. at the forecourt of Zed Multimedia in East Legon. It's absolutely free. Headlining is the transdimensional high life icon Aquabua. Also in the house would be the legendary Samuel Owusu and the soulful Adoma. They are ready to give you a live show that will stay with you for life. Join our trivia contest and stand a chance to win exclusive merchandise and souvenirs from Zed Multimedia. Use the hashtag ZHighLifeCruise. For all vendor bookings, sponsorship or inquiries, call 055-388-3306 or 055-590-6951 now. It is the Zed High Life Cruise powered by Zed Multimedia. Zed High Life Cruise. Feel the rhythm, live the culture. We shall take our first break. And our song for the first break is My Everything by Joe Metal.
Zed 101.9 FM.
Everybody's here. Say, how can I express my gratitude for all the many things you've done for me? Words are not enough. Lord, you are my everything. How can I express my gratitude? For all the many things, Father, you done for me, yeah. Words are not enough to say thank you. So Lord, you are, you're my everything. See, I call you Zed.
Your lifestyle, leisure, and business radio.
Welcome back. I know the break was short, but there's so much to talk about. Dr. Arthur, you are about to go to point 3. Point 1 is
the emotion-focused
coping.
Yes.
And then point 2 is the problem-solving, problem-focused coping.
And then we have the dysfunctional or maladaptive.
Okay.
Right.
Which is where my guy comes in.
So what it means that it's not effective and also is destructive. Right. So when people use illicit sex, they use alcohol, drugs and those things anger, blaming, violence, and all that. Those kind of coping strategies is not effective. And you may find a lot more men using that. So a woman may likely go cry to some of her girls. They cry together. They advise each other. Maybe insult the men in their life.
Yeah.
Right? In a way of, comforting each other, helping each other. You may find that. Right? But you may not find that with men.
No, we don't complain.
They are likely to use their work, overwork and work and work. They are likely to go smoke or do something that is destructive.
And so today, I woke up this morning, like the last 2 days I've had a problem. So today I thought of somebody, drove to his house, said, hey, this is the problem I'm having to deal with. And then he spoke to me and gave me, options and advice. And by the time we finished, I had a solution. That's good.
That is problem-focused coping.
Okay.
See, you had an issue, you identify where the solution was going to be coming from, you went for the solution, and you're fine.
I'm fine. I'm very, very fine.
So that is problem-focused, right? It means that you identify the problem and you fix it. And that is more effective. The emotion-based focused coping strategies, usually with situations that you cannot eliminate.
You can't do anything about it.
You have to live with it.
That's when you have to have the peace to live with it.
Yes, and that one you may have to use more of emotion-focused kind of coping. Something that gets you by all the time, but the problems. For example, if you have kids, you can't just throw them away. If you're married, you can't just dispose of your spouse, right? If you have some financial challenge that is not easy to fix, you may not be able to fix them here and now. It may be with you for some time. And whilst you are actually trying to fix it, you need some emotion-focused coping strategy so that you can feel better and be able to, so that it doesn't affect your performance, right? So most of the men-related dysfunctional behaviors is only a coping strategy. People are using alcohol to cope. They are using drugs to cope. They may use illicit sex. They may use all kinds of things.
There's some people who don't want to go home when they finish work.
Well, they don't have a home to go to. They have a house to go to, but not a home, right? Because if a man has peace, I think when we came, I was discussing with one of my brothers about this story in the Bible. I think when it comes up, people have been negative about it. Samson and Delilah. Right? The guy wasn't a fool to be going to Delilah.
But Delilah sorted him out.
Yes, it was, because think about it. He had to go fight all the time. When he's bruised and tired, where would he go to? He needs a place that he can actually go. Someone will help him, relax him, and he can go back to go and fight. Right? And for the first time, he fell in love. Judges 14:15, he didn't fall in love with the ladies. And for the first time, 16:4, the guy fell in love with Lila. So it was more like a hiding place for him. And he wasn't ready to lose her.
The place of his peace.
Oh, but he was ready to lose the assignment. Because to him, the assignment was stress. But Delilah was the stress reliever. So he wasn't a fool. He knew why he was going there. He knew that his secrets may be exposed, but he still kept going there. And I'm sure even when his eyes were plugged out, his hair was shaved and all that, and I'm sure he was still thinking about Delilah at some point.
And the good times he had while he was with her.
I'm sure. I'm sure Delilah made some attempts to actually go and apologize. Something. I think there was some movie around it where he actually even told Delilah that he was coming to break the wall, so he should just run away.
It actually made me think of that. Was she in the building the day he tore the walls down? Or he told her, leave the building. No, it's possible. It's possible that after all he went to hear the feelings he had for her and were strong enough to still say, I would like to spare your life. So that is the dysfunctional
coping strategy,
which is more common amongst men.
It's more common amongst men.
Okay. So here's the thing. How can we shift the narrative around masculinity amongst men and yet emotional vulnerability to the extent that we can say it is okay to seek help?
Okay. So I think that over the years, we have defined masculinity as without emotion, strength without emotion. But that shouldn't be. It means that there is strength that may be more than a physical strength, that may be more than being female, right? So I think we need to redefine what we mean by someone being a man. But over the years, I think that redefinition is coming up strongly. You realize that most of the discussion, like what we are doing today, you may not find these discussions those days.
Yeah, in times past now.
Right? Those days, now the whole of June, they say a month for the mental health of men. Last year wasn't even like that. Last year was just a day, Father's Day, we forgot at some point. And now we are trying, now Father's Day, people are starting to make, some meaningful noise around that. Right? So I think that the shift in the understanding of what being a man actually looks like is what we need to redefine that. So that it's just some aspect of your life as a man that makes you a bit stronger. But it doesn't apply to your emotions. It doesn't apply to some other aspect of your life. Because we feel, we remember, we enjoy, and the brain systems for all those things, the limbic system and all those areas, right? It's not, we still have some in males and females, right? And so that redefinition of what a male is, I think can actually help. And now I think through the feminist movement, there was a shift more to what being female looks like. But unfortunately, they made the femaleness look more masculine. You see, and that is creating a lot of problems.
Oh, for them?
Yes, it's creating a lot of problems.
They'll fix it. Eventually.
It's creating a lot of problems for them. So I think that redefinition is very, very important. And we need some sustained kind of education like you're doing this afternoon. And I hope that every month there will be some conversation around men and what affects men. The MDGs, you have whole portions for women, whole portions for children.
Unfortunately, men are fully neglected.
Yes, we are not there.
And the boy child is also neglected. And it's
even if in our hospitals we have units for women and units for children, no units for
we have maternal and child health.
We don't have anything
no, they don't have anything for men except urology. The urology kind of women are inside.
The women are inside.
So we don't have things for men's health. But if you think or you believe that you are not going to be attended to, or there's no focus on your problems, you tend to just keep them inside because nobody's going to give you the attention.
That affects your health-seeking behaviors.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. And that's why when you came in, I was asking you, your clients, are they male and female? You said they're about the same.
So when I say about the same, we tend to attend to interpersonal related problems. And usually when there's a woman, there's a man.
Okay.
But you may find the women coming first.
Yeah.
And sometimes you try to bring in the men, right? But you may find that the first attempt almost all the time is a woman. Almost all the time. You may not find. And even when you invite the men over, they come in and say, this one could have fixed in the home. I don't even know why we are here.
Yes, because you are exposing unnecessary dirty laundry that will bring his image down in the eyes of the person you are speaking to.
And there was this, I did this survey in one of the churches in one of the towns. It was even a church, and we're talking about marriage and what the women are happy about, what they are not happy about. So the women talked about 3 things that they were happy about: financial support from the men, support with children particularly, and support for their own welfare. Those 3 things were key. But when it comes to the things they were not happy about, plenty. Yeah. Plenty. They are not romantic enough. They don't provide emotional support. They don't allow us to touch their phones. They talked about, many, many, many things. But when it came to the men, they talked about, okay, they cook well, home care is fine, and those things. When it came to what the men didn't like, it was just 4. Yeah. Sex was 10 times. Yeah. So sex actually took over the whole conversation. Then the next one was the fact that some women struggle to submit in terms of, and one of the things that really, really resonated through all of them was that when the women complain, they should complain and just keep, stop complaining. It's like they will stretch the issue the whole week, right? And so typically, that is who the man is. Right, and if they don't find a woman who gives them that peace, that reassurance, that strength to be able to move on, it becomes very, very difficult. A woman once told me that a man told her that I come to you for peace, and if you're not giving me peace, there's no point in me coming here. And I'm a man. When she said it, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And so there are men who are behaving in a particular way purely because they don't get peace.
Yes.
Okay. The Bible says it's better to live on the corner of the roof of your house. Not on the roof.
Yes.
In the desert. Hot days and cold nights.
Yes.
It is better to live on the corner of the roof of your house than to share a house with a nagging wife.
Yes. A contentious woman.
And until you, if you really imagine it's like, Charlie, so you mean with all this rain here, you're on the roof.
Yes.
Cold nights, you're on the roof.
Even snow, you're on the roof.
On the snow, you're on the roof. Hot blazing sun, you're on the roof. But you rather be on the roof than share a house with a nagging wife. If people really realize that, nobody will nag.
Yes.
Because it doesn't bring results.
Yes.
When I was young, my father gave me a book. One of the books he bought for me was Aesop's Fables. There's a quarrel between the sun and the wind. And the wind said, "I'm stronger than you." The sun said, "Oh, no, you're not." The wind said, "I'm stronger than you." He said, "Okay, prove it." So you see that man over there wearing that jacket? I'll blow the jacket off. The sun was like, "Okay, we are on. The bet is on. I'll take that bet." So the wind started. It blew and blew and blew. And the harder it blew, the harder the man held the jacket. Then when the wind got tired, he said, "Okay, I'm tired. It's your turn." Then the sun just gave heat and warmth. What did the man do? Took off the jacket. You can achieve a lot more with warmth than with that whole gale force. I'm blasting you every day about your faults. If there's a story about a woman who was talking about the fact that you can nag him into doing something, but you can give him praise before the request, and the guy will get up like some and go and do it for you with all kinds of this thing. So there are ways of going, about it. And the guys we are talking about obviously are having difficulty in being valued, appreciated for whatever it is that they do.
Yes. And from that, this came to mind that men do things for people they find useful to them. Usefulness. And so a man can actually leave all his properties with a slave, and people won't understand because the slave was useful. And when a man finds someone useful, they direct their attention towards. So sometimes one of the worst things a woman can do to her children is to incite their children against their father.
You're turning his love away.
Yeah, the man will just walk away. Because usually men relate to their kids through the woman. And so if they don't find peace, one of the greatest gift you can give to a man is to give him peace.
There are people who hide in the toilet when they get home.
Yes.
Just to get a little bit of, peace and quiet. And people who do, in fact, I don't want to go home because when I go home, I'm coming to meet stress. It's like, stress at work, stress at home. Someone say, you must behave yourself. If you don't behave yourself, the ways, but the nagging doesn't bring, results. And unfortunately, there are quite a number of people who are suffering. Men suffer at work, come home, suffer at home. Then you're suffering economically too because maybe the money is not enough and things of that sort. And it's as if you can't win.
Yeah.
You can't win anywhere. And it makes it really difficult.
So it's possible what we are saying. Some woman is even nagging about what we are saying. When men are telling their side. Last I went for some intervention with some women. And when we were coming in the car, there were two. They were at the back of the car. I was sitting with the driver in front. So they were talking about men and what men want and stuff. At some point when they were talking, I looked at the face of the driver. He looked at my face and he shook his head. They don't understand what they are saying. They don't understand what they are saying.
Okay, so we have. Hey, is it time? I'm in trouble. Can I go on? I can go on for a few minutes more. I've been given permission to go on for a few minutes more. Okay, so we've talked about the problem.
Yes.
What practical daily strategies or habits can help men cope?
There are several of them. We call them self-help skills. And I would say that it's okay to take care of yourself first. There is nothing wrong.
We should do like the plane, wear the oxygen mask before you help somebody else.
So, unfortunately, a lot of men take care of others first before they take care of themselves.
We are built that way.
Yes. And that, I think,
that's
is the
the
problem.
fight in my house.
Yes.
They tell me every day that if they want this, I'll do it for them. If I need the same thing, to spend the same money on myself, I'll say no. It's too expensive. But if they ask for it...
So I think that is the gap with men.
We should start.
That we are likely to plan other people's lives, but we don't plan ours. We are likely to give to others, we don't give to ourselves.
So I should buy myself the phone before I buy you one.
Perfect.
Eh.
That is how, because if we are doing well, we will do well. See, a lot of men...
If we are doing well, everybody will do well.
We will do well.
Okay.
You know, because at the end of the day, if you're not healthy, you can't take care of anybody else. Right? And life expectancy for men is around 62, for women is around 67. Right? And so self-care things. So let me mention some of them.
Mm-hmm.
First is positive attitude towards life. Right? And sometimes when you are down as a man, you just have to be positive. Today it will not work. Tomorrow it's going to work. So whatever is true, whatever is lovely, whatever is of, good report, says dwell on these things. It helps. Right? Because if you have a dream and you are not positive about it, and Christianity will say faith, right? You don't have faith. It becomes very, very difficult. What overcomes the challenges finally is your faith, right? Then again, to surround yourself with positive people, right? At some point, you should be able to define who is necessary and who is not, who protects your peace and who does not.
Right? And you have to show all of them away, shake them off.
You would have to. And it's some decision you have to take. And it may be anybody who is close to you, right? Particularly when there's an attempt to fix the problem and it cannot be fixed. And sometimes you just have to let people be so that you can have your peace. Even when it comes to marriage, everything a man can change about their wives. Sometimes you just have to let it go. So
no, you can't change anything about your wife. I mean, don't even start thinking that I'm going to change her. No.
So sometimes, just for your peace, you need to surround yourself with positive people. Then again, rest, right? We need to attempt to rest. What it means that intentionally make sure that the home is for rest, right? Unfortunately, we try to send work home. Some people may have a study there. They may have some office in their home. So after work, instead of going to sleep, we are likely to go to the office or go and read something. But as much as possible, the home should be a place for rest. Because we need no less than 5 to 8 hours of sleep every day as adults. Children about 8 to 12 hours. Babies maybe about 12 to 16 hours. Right, of sleep. We need to
You
rest.
should remind them about the children part. Children, how many hours?
Children is about 8 to 12 hours.
Parents, have you heard? Your child is supposed to be sleeping up to 12 hours. Those children who are walking about at 8 p.m. is not good news. They should be in bed.
Yeah, so from 8 to about 6 a.m. So you realize
that... Accra Life, they'll get them up at 4:30.
Yes.
So if you know you are going to wake your child up at 4:30, then by 6 you should be in bed.
Be in bed. Because have you realized that when a child sleeps well, they will wake up and come and worry you in your bed?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
You don't have to wake them up.
You don't have to wake them up. They will wake up and come and worry you in bed.
As a child,
yes,
I never watched a Sofadazi. The Sofadazi comes after Talking Points.
Yeah, that was about 9:30 there about.
My bedtime was 7 p.m. news.
In the news.
Bedtime. It was the law in my house. My father would not allow you to stay up beyond 7 p.m. The moment the news came, straight to your room. That was our bedtime. And I was in university primary, so that means you ended up waking up around 6 to go to school at 7. So I was getting like 11.
Yes.
10 to 11 hours sleep. Yes. I'm not sleeping, you will go to bed. It was law.
Yes.
So even my children, when they go and visit them, and then 8 p.m. they're waking up, my father's like, bedtime. They're like, oh, Grandpa, I want to stay up. And I said, hey, go and ask your father the time he went to bed. You are lucky you are even here at 8 o'clock. So I don't understand sometimes when people allow their children to stay up. Like, you're actually messing up with their health. They need those hours.
Yeah.
Please go on.
Yeah, and currently there are some research that will tell you that lack of sleep is like cancer of the brain.
It actually diminishes your lifespan.
Yes, it actually eats up your brain. So rest is important. Then again, to exercise, day-to-day exercise. It helps. Exercise helps. It really helps. Even the Bible talks about it. Bodily exercise profited a little.
It didn't say much.
Timothy for it.
But
you need a little. Then we can move on to nutrition. Good nutrition. Men really don't eat well. We are likely to stay away from food, come back home late, eat heavy, go sleep. But some fruit, some veggies here and there helps. Reducing salt, sugar, those things. Right? And the thing also about your nutrition is to eat what you feel like eating that day. Okay. We all wake up with a certain food. It adds to wellness. So sometimes you wake up and watch it on your mind. Go and get it. And so that helps. Then also forgiveness. Right? Unforgiveness is an internal stressor, actually. Bitterness.
Unforgiveness?
It's an internal stressor.
Do you know the definition of unforgiveness? Drinking poison and expecting your enemy will die. You are drinking a poison, no? and you expect your enemy will die. It's one of the most stupid things you can do to yourself.
Unforgiveness. Then again, anger and what do you call it? Unthankfulness. Being unthankful really helps. So when people are thankful, they forgive. It really protects them, particularly for men, because see, we do so much for others. We don't get, what we give out there.
That's true.
And because of that, you can be very, very bitter towards everybody in your life. So, for example, Father's Day, you may not find that feedback that expresses full appreciation of your efforts. And if you are not careful,
that's true,
you hold grudges. And so some fathers actually would...
I have to remind my children, all I got was Happy Father's Day. Meanwhile, taking them on holiday. Can you imagine?
So some fathers...
But I know they love me.
Some fathers may disown their kids and all that. Because of that. So unforgiveness really destroys.
Because what? They didn't feel appreciated.
Appreciated enough.
But it's his money. He can do what he wants with it.
So...
Anna, it's not his money.
It's his money.
He worked for it. So whatever he wants to do with it, you can do.
Right.
You then look for your own.
Then again, to intimacy helps. We advise married couples to have sex as often as possible. Right. And if the women are listening to us, it's one of the top on a man's list. So intimacy, there's all kinds of...
What's number one on a man's list?
Intimacy.
What's number two?
Intimacy.
Number one is respect, I think. Respect. And number two is intimacy.
Yes, then number three is support.
And when the women say, why? Is it food? The answer is yes, it is food.
Essential nutrients.
Yes.
Right. Then again to setting realistic goals and expectations. Realistic goals. When your dreams overwhelm you, means that it's too much.
Okay. We'll come back. We need to reiterate this list all over again.
Yes.
We are going for a short break. People should get your pen and papers ready. You have to write all these things down. We'll be right back.
Zed 101.1.
This July, all roads lead to Zed Multimedia for the High Life Cruise of the century. It's the Zed High Life Cruise, July 4th, 2025, at 3 p.m. sharp. Venue, Zed Multimedia Forecourt, right there at American House, close to Brick Junction. Rates absolutely free. Just come with your dancing shoes, featuring Samuel Owusu, sensational High Life legend. With Adoma bringing the soul. And headlined by the iconic High Life sensation Aquabwa.
Girl, you blow my mind and go for the
Remember, it's free and it's live. It's the Zed High Life Cruise. Feel the rhythm, live the culture.
Dr. Padiaite, and Dr. Arthur has given us some very, very powerful, earth-shaking, beautiful, wonderful tips, which I shall ask him to go over again, because we all need to remember this. One of these days we'll do a quiz and ask you if you remember the tips, because these are life-saving. Can you please go over them again?
Yeah. So these are intentional things. You need to plan them and do them. So
we are talking about how men can cope.
Yes, self-care. How men can self-care.
Yes.
And the women can also apply it as bonus.
So number one again
right,
is...
so have a positive attitude.
Positive attitude.
And mindset about life. That's the first one. Second, surround yourself with positive people. People who are useful. The third is to rest. Not less than 5 hours a day. Sorry. Then the fifth. The fourth is to exercise. It helps. So go golfing, go playing tennis. It helps. Right? Go hit the gym. It helps. Walk your dog. It helps. Hold your wife's hand. Go
for a walk down
it helps.
Around the estate.
And if you are daily, you do it daily, helps. Then good nutrition. Good nutrition. A lot of fruit, veggies. Avoid refined products. Plenty sugar and salt.
And eat the food that when you wake up in the morning,
yes,
your spirit is calling for.
Yeah. So when you wake up,
I like that point.
Eat what you feel like eating. It helps. Then we talk about being thankful. Be thankful.
Be thankful.
Count your blessings. Realize that life is not too bad. Forgive. quickly. Do not let the sun go down in anger. Forgive quickly. Then again,
I found that thing to really work. Don't let the sun go down in anger. It's one of the most valuable things you can do to yourself or for yourself. It's just let it go.
Yes. No matter what sometimes people are so bitter, with their
it will
kids
matter in 5
or
years.
their spouses.
It will matter in 10 years. It really wouldn't matter.
Yes. Then again to realistic goals. Set realistic goals and expectations. I'm sure sometimes people's prayer topic, God is even confused. It's just too big. It won't come to pass. So smart goals helps. Then be content with what you have. Contentment. Right. Then we talk about intimacy. Intimacy actually helps. There are all kinds of neurochemicals that are released. Dopamine, oxytocin, endorphins. All those ones. Prolact. They're all released during intimacy. Then my son actually adds this, and I love. Mind your own business. Mind your own business. Mind your own business. My daughter actually went to separate some kids who were fighting. When the teacher entered, he found the three of them, having some interaction. He thought the two of them were disturbing and punished all of them.
All three of them.
Ooh. And when she came, she was narrating the story, crying.
And how unfair. It's not fair.
Then my son said, Daddy, I've told her to mind their own business. Even the Bible says, I said, which part of the Bible says? 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, 7 to 11. It says, do well to live at peace with all men. Working with your hands, minding your own business. Because sometimes I think we want to have an opinion about everything. We want to get involved in everything. We want things to go our way all the time. Sometimes just walk by. Sometimes even asking someone, how are you? It brings a lot of problems. So at some point, let things be. Mind your own business. I'm sure you should do well. Then prayer and meditation. Really, there are all kinds. If you can add fasting, it helps. Intermittent fasting. There are all kinds of intermittent fasting programs. There's 16 hours, 12 hours, where you stay away from food for no less than 12 hours. So if you decide not to eat after 6, when you stay away from food to about 6 in the morning or 9, it's about 12 hours. Because the body tissue repair and everything happens better when there's no food. So intermittent fasting, prayer, meditation, really, it calms you. Solitude. Take time, maybe in a month, maybe a weekend, go somewhere away from all the troubles of life. Just go think, reflect, pray about things, replan, just spend time. You will not go and do rigorous prayers. A time away in solitude where you can actually think. I think that helps. Because sometimes we are so busy and occupied the whole month. And before you realize, you've lost track of yourself and some of the things you want to do. That's what I find really helps me, away from everything. It really, really helps. It calms you down, gives you a better perspective to life. So prayer and meditation is also a good thing that can really help. Then learning to say no, I think is also one of them. Being assertive, delegate. When you are tired, you are tired. Lock the door. Sometimes you feel if you don't do it, something will happen. Nothing will happen. If you die, the world moves. So sometimes that mindset that you are so valuable, so important, you want to fix everything. It doesn't help.
It doesn't help.
Because at some point, you should know your breaking limit. It's okay to say you are tired. A lot of men really can't say, I'm tired. Or this one is above and beyond, I'm done. Or go and do what you like. A lot of men really don't know how to do that. But learning to know that you are tired and acknowledging you are tired and saying no is one of the best gifts you can give to yourself. Right? But of all the things in this world, take care of you.
Warren Buffett talks about the fact that one of the biggest strengths, a gift, is to be able to say no.
Yes.
We say no to so many things all the time.
Yes.
Because it allows you to say yes to the things that matter.
Yes.
You know that you've cluttered your life with. Wow, these are, very, very important points. One of the things I learned only today was somebody talking about the fact that spend an hour and try and clear your mind of everything. It takes about 30 minutes to achieve the clear mind. But then in the second half of the hour, when your mind is really clear of everything, you then start getting the solutions that you've been chasing. So the ability to pray, meditate, and just sometimes just keep quiet and wait for responses. You know how we are. We always, I want.
Yes.
But this is how to do it. That part never comes because we are too busy talking.
Yes.
Rather than actually listening. So 13 very good points. Have a positive attitude and mindset. Surround yourself with positive people. Rest. Exercise. Have good nutrition. Be thankful. Forgive. Have realistic goals. Be content. Enjoy intimacy and get as much as possible. Mind your own business. Pray, meditate, and fast. And then finally, learn to say no. Dr. Arthur, you saved lives today. Oh. You have saved lives today.
I've saved my own life today. I've saved my own life today.
What are some of the warning signs that friends or loved ones should never ignore when it comes to the mental health of the men in their lives?
So sometimes the only warning sign is that there's no sign. Sometimes
There's no sign of what?
there's no sign that there's a problem going on. So sometimes you may find someone doing everything fine. Unless they have a conversation with you, you will never know that something is going on. So what it means is that people must pay attention to the man in their lives. They need to pay attention, right? Because that will
And not just assume that everything is okay.
not just assume.
He's functioning.
Yes.
But it doesn't mean he's okay.
Yes, and a lot of men usually don't get a message or a conversation. How are you doing? Are you happy? A lot of men don't get that. So you may wake up and almost every message and call that comes is someone wanting something from you.
In my particular situation,
Yes.
I'm a doctor. Everybody comes to me with their problem. And almost every message I get, can you help me with this? I have this problem.
Yes.
They are like, there's one person. I mean, there's one person. One of all the how many thousands of people that I take care of who'd get up and send a message and say, just checking up on you. Is everything okay? I'm saying one. One. That gives you an idea of the perspective.
Yes.
And yet, almost all of them will complain, you don't check on me. You haven't seen me for a while and you've done nothing about it.
Like when Jesus healed the 10, only one came. Only one came. And Jesus, I'm sure Jesus was hurt to say, nine were him.
That's why he asked.
That's why he asked. Nine were him. So when the way to
what you
find
said
out,
is so
yes,
true.
the way to find out whether there's a problem is just to ask. It's just to have a conversation. Right, a happy woman, a happy wife is a happy home. I don't know who even said that. A happy husband is also a happy home. Right, so usually are likely to ask the wife, "Are you happy?" and not the man, "Are you happy?" So that is. And secondly, when you see any change in behavior,
women are afraid to ask that question.
because they may not want to hear what
they may not want to hear what they have to do to correct that thing. Wives, please ask your husband today, "Are you happy?" If you cannot ask him, you know that you are at fault.
Right. So the next one is any change in behavior from the norm. So you know this guy, there's something about him that we know that this is how he does his things. Then suddenly there's a change. Right. Any change in behavior at all may be a sign that something is happening around. Then again, they may verbalize it. They may talk about it. You may read someone's status, may see some post on social media, something. It may be a sign that the person is going through problems. Then productivity. You may find someone, a husband who is loving, caring, wakes up early in the morning, does this and that, goes to work, come back. Suddenly realize that productivity starts going down. Right? You rather know there's something wrong. And sometimes when productivity starts going up, instead of finding out what the problem is and helping, we're likely to blame and complain. Right? It's possible that the person is going through something, because mental health issues actually affect productivity. I think Ghana loses about $5 billion. Mental health related problems.
Are you serious?
Yes, relating to productivity.
Are you serious?
Globally is about $2 trillion. Right. Wow. And so productivity is significantly affected by that. So you see someone whose productivity is going down. Maybe be their relationship that is not working out well, their job is not working out well, financial situations may be a sign that man is going through something. But they may verbalize it, to the person around. And again, maybe the last one is when the person becomes distractive. most of the crime-related behaviors is a consequence of poor mental well-being. The person may not have an underlying mental illness, but they have a poor mental well-being, right? It means that they may not be able to handle or cope with life better. Their response to life stresses may be inappropriate. You know, you go to the prisons and you have a lot of people who were not supposed to be there in the first place, if someone had paid attention to them, right? So dysfunctional adult behaviors may be a sign that the person is going through some kind of challenges.
I was talking to a relative, just having a conversation, and he told me how at some time he was so depressed, something was making him so sad, that he actually considered driving into a war so that he would die, and that's the end of it. Funny thing is that I never knew that is how stressed he was at that particular point in time. We kind of think that, oh, yeah, okay, you can handle. But you have no idea what's going on inside somebody's head and the kind of pain and suffering they are going through. And you will never know until you ask, are you okay? Just that question, are you okay? But the person may just decide that, so I'll tell you why I'm not okay. And hopefully there's something you can do about it. A lot of times it's just to be heard. Sometimes you even know the solution, but you just need the courage to take that particular step. But we need to pay more attention to so if you've got religion, you can rely on religion.
Yeah, so it's part of the emotion-focused coping strategies.
Yes.
We call religious or spiritual coping strategies. It really, really helps. If you look at...
So those who don't have God, how do they cope?
Well, it's difficult. It's very, very difficult. So some people may actually get involved in things that is God, but they may not acknowledge Him.
Okay.
You see, they may not. And even when you look at suicidal behaviors, we have motivational factors and we have rescue factors. Religion is an important rescue factor. The fact that people think that they are loved by God, God cares about them, He holds the future, things are going to get better, they are going to get through because of Him. That alone pushes people through crisis, right? So now there's a whole study about spirituality and health, people's well-being, mental health, and it's a whole lot, right? We know that those who are spiritual, they cope better, they have a better perspective to life. They're able to deal with, most of these mental health symptoms better. Even some practices in spirituality actually is protective, like meditation, prayer, singing, reading sacred books, music therapy. There are all kinds of things around it. So it's a big issue now when it comes to healthcare. And that's why we are shifting more towards the holistic kind of care, where we use multiple approaches to attempt to address a particular problem. Right? So the concept of God is an important that you can't take out. It's difficult.
If you know God in the good times, in times of stress, you rely on the faith that you had already built in the times when things were not stressful.
Particularly for men, because really, men really don't look up to women. Men really don't. Right? So when a man has God, they are likely to look up to God more.
And God has got you.
Yes.
So
a woman may likely look up to the man. It's the natural order of things. Right? But so if you have a man who has some relationship with God, that is protective for him. Because he will always look up. When looking down becomes difficult, he will look up. Very, very difficult.
Especially when he knows that his God can do all things.
And particularly when men struggle to confide in people.
They can confide in God without a problem.
Without feeling, that. And again, if they're asking God for help, it sounds better than looking for to a human being for help.
Why do men find it so difficult asking for help?
Well, we are meant to solve problems.
So it means you are incapable of solving your problem.
We don't want to be seen as part of
that means you failed.
Yes.
You failed in your role as a problem solver.
People may summarize by saying men are egoistic, but it's not ego at all. It's just the natural order of things. It's something I tell some women, be a man a day to understand. There are things you can't understand until you become.
You know the story of the woman who, she decided to be a man for 6 months.
No, I haven't heard that.
Oh, she did everything like a man, worked like a man, everything, dressed like a man for 6 months. At the end of 6 months, she was so depressed, she killed herself. True story. She was like, no, you guys, what the men go through, she actually killed herself. She couldn't cope with that degree of stress, problems, rejection, all that kind of stuff on a regular basis. She couldn't handle it. That is why they say to be a man now war. It is not a joke. However, we have tools, we have been equipped, we have solutions, and we have ways by which we can cope with all the stresses that are ahead of us and still come out successful, bring up good, well-balanced children, have good relationships and good marriages, achieve and be productive, leave an inheritance for our children's children, and serve God and achieve the purposes for which God put us on this earth. It is possible to do all those things and indeed more. Dr. Arthur, Charlie's been great.
Thank you.
It's been great. We are living here fully empowered. I have my list of 13 items that are there. I'm going to have to write it up and frame it and put it somewhere.
But let me add this.
Sit down with my sons.
Let me add
and
this
teach
that
them.
if people are struggling, they should walk into the hospital to talk to a mental health professional. If any man is, they should just walk. Can be a psychiatrist or a psychologist or a counselor. Now, because of government policies over the years, you can walk into any health facility and they are likely to have someone who deals with issues like that. So the same way we go to also with hypertension or diabetes or malaria, those things. Just walk in and say you need someone to talk to. And sometimes it's easier for a professional to handle it than someone you know, because they will be more objective and very professional, and they have been trained to fix problems.
And they have the tools.
Yeah, they have the tools to help.
Provide you with a solution.
Yes. It's okay to go to see the therapist. It's okay.
It's fine.
It's fine.
It's normal.
It's normal.
It's the manly thing to do.
It's a manly thing to do.
Yes.
It's a cool thing to do.
It's a cool thing to do. Have that conversation.
Yes.
You have that conversation. We are looking for solutions, and sometimes, or most of the time, you will get a solution at the end of that conversation. Thank you very much, Dr. Arthur. We shall call upon you again soon. But let's figure out what we can do to help men. Something nothing comes to mind like immediately, but I'm seeming to think that there should be a way we can give men better coping strategies and solutions and things that you can do. I was stressed today. Called this guy, went to see him. He's a friend, he's a pastor, but the solutions I wanted were actually help me think this through. And he gave me do this, and it made so much sense. It's like, oh, okay, this is going to work. That burden is lifted. I know exactly what I'm going to do. I told him I have my own ideas, but let me hear yours first. And that outside perspective really helped me today. So we need to figure out a way to be able to help men just to talk about some of these issues, because a lot of times the problem you are suffering, somebody else has been through that and has the solution. Dr. Arthur, we'll be coming to UPSA. We'll walk into the hospital and say, we want to have a chat and give you our problems. You help us carry it. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been a wonderful session. This is our last session for the month. We've ended the month talking about men's mental health. We have solutions. We've been equipped. Husbands know what to do, and wives know what to do for their husbands to ensure that they can keep doing what they need to do. On that note, I shall remind you once again of our Zed High Life cruise. Get ready, ladies and gentlemen, for the biggest high life experience of the year. Zed Multimedia proudly presents the Zed High Life cruise, happening on the 4th of July. It's a Friday at 3 p.m. at the forecourt of Zed Multimedia in East Legon, and it's absolutely free. Headlining is Akwabwa with Samuel Usu and Adoma, all ready to give you a live show that will stay with you for life. Join our trivia contest and stand a chance to win exclusive merchandise and souvenirs from Zed Multimedia. Use the hashtag ZHighLifeCruise. For all vendor booking, sponsorship, or inquiries, call 055-388-3306 or 055-590-6951 now. It is the Zed High Life Cruise powered by Zed Multimedia. Zed High Life Cruise, feel the rhythm, live the culture. Thank you very much. My name is Dr. Paddy Aite. It's been a great time. We'll see you again next month. Take care. God bless. Stay healthy and be safe. Bye.
Zed 101.9 FM.
This July, all roads lead to Zed Multimedia for the High Life Cruise of the century. Is the Zed High Life Cruise, July 4th, 2025, at 3 p.m. sharp. Venue, Zed Multimedia Forecourt, right there at American House, close to Brick Junction. Rates absolutely free. Just come with your dancing shoes, featuring Samuel Owusu, sensational High Life legend. With Adoma bringing the soul. And headlined by the iconic High Life sensation Aquabwa.